Hi all, welcome to part 4 of the video lecture on structured query language. So we are discussing the SQL, right? So we're going through many basic concepts of SQL. Now it's time to explore more commands of SQL. So we already seen that create a table command and how table can be created, how attribute domain can be specified, what about the constraints like default value, not null value, primary key, foreign key. So these are all the things we discussed so far. Now it's time for us to explain some more commands like a delete command. Okay, so just like, so in between something is missing, like insert was there, so that we may see later. Okay, so using insert command, so typically we will populate the database with the value. So once you create the structure, so we are just having the structure like we have this employee table, say with a structure like we have employee name. I'm just taking as an example social security number, say age of the employee, and some other informations are there. Now you can insert values into the table. So for that we typically use a command called I think I missed to explain this, insert into the table name, that is employee values. So this is a typical structure we are using for this insert query. Insert into this table, say employee, these are all the values you are supposed to insert, and in bracket we will say what is name of the employee, say if it is a constant, and I'll put in single quotes like that. So what is his social security number, some number will be given, and what is the age, like that you will insert the value. So this is how this insert query is working, by which you can populate the database with values. So now once you populate the database with value, any value you can delete just by using the delete command. Okay, so the delete command removes the tuples from the relation using a where condition. So in that where clause you will mention the condition, so it will check the tuples that are having this condition to be true, and those tuples will be deleted from the table. Okay, so for example you want to delete details of all employees having, say, age is equal to 20, something like that, or social security number is equal to this. So it may delete on value or more than one value according to the delete command. Okay, now however the deletion may propagate to tuples in another relation if referential triggered action are specified in the referential integrity. So suppose you are deleting something from a referred relation, someone else will be referring it, right? And that time what you will do with those references, you can either do that cascade option or set null or set default, something like that will do. So the propagation may happen. So depending on the number of tuples selected by the condition of the where clause, 0 or 1 or several tuples may be deleted by a single delete command. Okay, so depending on the condition, a missing where clause specifies that all tuples in the relation are to be deleted. However, the table remains in the database as an empty table. So if you are mentioning something like a delete delete say employee, and where condition is missing, okay, so that says that everything is to be deleted. Okay, so by default all tuples will be, so if you are mentioning that where condition, only those tuples which are having that where condition true will be deleted. Okay, so whenever you delete, where you are deleting on all entries of the table, still that structure will be retained. Okay, so once you created the structure using that create command, structure is there, then you populated using insert command, then you are deleting the values using delete command. Now suppose you are deleting everything from the database, still that structure is not going to be removed from the database schema. Okay, so that whole thing. So now if you want to remove that schema, so that structure also, then you can use a different command called drop table. So drop table will completely delete, including the structure, where delete will just delete the tuples, that may be one or more tuples. Okay, or 0, 1 or more tuples. Example, so this first one is trying to delete say from m. So this is a structure, delete from. So you have to, in from clause you have to mention the name of the table, where clause you have to say the condition. So last name is equal to Brown, so all those employee with the last name is equal to Brown will be deleted from the employee table. So that is the meaning. Similarly here, delete from the employee table where social security number is given like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So all employees with this particular social, so actually it is a key attribute, right? So there may not be more than one employee with this social security number, key is not supposed to repeat. So there will be a unique tuple with this number, and that will be deleted. Say here this department number is a foreign key. So anyway, what we are doing, we are deleting from employee table all the tuples with the DNA is equal to 5, so that all employees from department number 5 are now deleted. Now if you want, you can delete the department number 5 information from the other table also, so that there is no issue, right? So before deleting from the refer table, you are deleting the entries from the referencing table. Okay, something like that. Now here, if you are mentioning just like this, delete from employee without any where clause, that says that delete everything from employee table. Okay, so like that we have examples. Now we have the so insert is for populating data, delete is for removing the tuples from the database. So everywhere that structure is still there. Okay, so given a structure, how to populate the data, insert. Without affecting the structure, how we can remove elements from the database tables and all, that is delete. Now we have this update command by which you can update the values. Some values you can update. So here what we are trying to do is we are updating the project table. Okay, and what kind of updation you want, you are so for that we are using something called a set. So how you want to set the attribute value, say p location. Okay, the project location is set to be Bel Air something, and the department number is also set to be 5. So you are modifying, updating those entries where the project number is equal to 10. So that is a condition. So it will select the tuple with the project number 10 first. Now in that tuple, the project location value, whatever it is already, you will be updating it to Bel Air. Okay, and the department number is also you are going to update to 5. So what updation you want, that you write inside that set clause, and update name of the table, set what change you want, where condition you mention. Okay, so that is the thing. So that about it. The update command is used to modify the attribute values of one or more selected tuples. Like a delete command, a where clause is there in update command also, that selects the tuples to be modified from the single relation. So updating a primary key value may propagate to the foreign key value of the tuples in other relations if such references. So you know, towards this primary key that reference is made, right? So whenever we have a reference, this table with the primary key will act as the, I mean, whenever you have a reference to towards the primary key, that particular table is a referred one. Whenever you are deleting it, you know, you have to make sure that the references are still valid. So you can either cascade, so just like delete, if you are modifying this primary key value, do cascade is the best option, or if you want you can do that set null, set default, those kind of things also. Now we have an additional set clause in the update command that specifies the attribute to be modified and the new modified value. So this is something new here. So for example, if we want to change the project location to be say of the controlling department. Okay, so for the project for which the controlling department is say 5, you have to update the project location and the department number. Okay, yeah, that about it. Now so here you are just updating a single entry because your condition is having the primary key p number. So there will be a single tuple with this p number is equal to 10, and for which the location and d number is updated. Now if you want, you can update more than one entries together using a single update command, something like this. So just look at this example. In the employee table, I am doing an updation. So what kind of updation I am doing? I am updating the salary information of the employee. So there is a hike, like some salary of the employees say from research department is increased to some 10%. So you have two choices. Either you can identify what is the department number of the research department by using some select query, but assume here that we already know the department number of the research department, let it be 5. If that is the case, because we are just focusing on the update query only, okay, selection we will study later. So what we will do is we will directly mention that the condition to be department number 5. So that is nothing but the research department. Okay, so assume so the research department is having a department number as 5. So in that case, what you can say, the salary is to be updated, like we have a rise like 10% increment is there. So you can just multiply it with 1.1, right? So 100 plus 10 by 100, like that. So that much value will be, the salary will be updated accordingly. Okay, so every employee who are working under the department number 5, which is a research department, we have this rule applicable only for research department. For everybody in the research departments, there is a salary hike that is 10% of the current salary. So when you are writing like this, right side corresponds to the old value that you are updating by multiplying it with 1.1, and that is updated as a new value of the salary in field. Okay, so that is the meaning. Yeah, that's all. So in the set clause, the reference to the salary attribute on the right side refers to the old salary, and left side is a modified value. So it is also possible to specify null, default value, those things also you can You can update like that also. So whatever updation you want, that you can do, no problem. Now notice that the update command explicitly refers to a single relation. To modify multiple relation, that many times you have to apply the update command. For everyone you have to apply it independently, so there is no easy way. Yeah, that about it. Now drop command. So insert, delete, update. So these are all inserting new value or new tuples into the into a database structure, and deleting some tuples from. So everywhere the structure is written, we are not dealing with the structure. Okay, so structure is there as it is, and values we are newly inserting, deleting, updating. So that is what we seen so far with the insert, delete and update commands. Now if you want to if you want to modify the structure, if you want to delete the structure, you have commands like drop and alter. So this drop command will delete the entire structure. It can be drop table or drop schema, like that. This alter command is going to change the structure. Okay, but if you want to change the value of an existing structure, you can use delete command. So, update command. Alter is for the structure. Similarly, delete is for the values of the database, and drop is for the structure. Okay, so in a database relation, within a schema, so schema is a bigger thing, right? Schema is no longer needed. Suppose you want to delete the schema as a whole, then you can use something like a drop. So not like this. Here schema as a whole, you can use something like a drop schema, name of the schema, say company schema I want to drop. Okay, now when you are dropping something, you have to be careful. You have to mention whether you want cascade option or restrict option. You have two options. Okay, if you are mentioning cascade option, that is the safest way, in the sense when you are trying to delete that schema company, it will cascade it to, before deleting the schema, all the individual tables are to be deleted, right? So all those things will done automatically if you provide that cascade option. So deletion of the schema recursively involves deletion of all the tables inside it. So that will happen automatically if you are using cascade option. But if you are using restrict operation, it will behave differently, in the sense when you are asking to delete a structure, it will restrict the user, saying that before deleting the structure, you please delete all the tables inside it. Okay, so when you delete in the table, you have to delete all the values inside the table. So like that, it will go recursively. Okay, so once you delete the first you have to delete all the tuples from a table, then you have to delete the table structure. Like that, every table structure you delete, and finally you go for the deletion of the schema. So that is something more detailed. Okay, so that is something you can achieve by using the keyword restrict. But if you are giving cascade as an option, all those things will done automatically. Restrict will simply restrict the deletion, drop option, and it will inform the user before dropping the schema, please drop the tables inside it. Then the user will try to drop the table, and that time it will again ask keep delete all the values inside it. So it is something more so user is getting a chance to ensure like whether he really wants to delete the schema or not. Okay, but in the other case, whenever you are writing something like this, everything will be deleted automatically, something like that. Okay, so everywhere we have this cascade and restrict option. So now it's time to see how this table can be dropped. Okay, drop in the sense the structure is deleted. Okay, delete means just the values are deleted, structure will be retained. So this is how you can delete a schema, drop schema. If you want to delete the table structure as a whole, you use drop table and name of the table, and cascade option in the sense all the values inside or all the rows or tuples inside this dependent table is also deleted, then the structure is deleted. So this will happen automatically. If you are using restrict option, on other hand, it will check whether the values are deleted. If not, it will restrict the operation, and it will be informing that to the user. So drop was deleted. I hope you understand, because delete is just going to delete the values only, the structure will be retained. Drop will delete the structure also, so that you just go through. Now alter command is another one by which you can alter or update the structure. Okay, if you want to alter the actual values inside the table, you can use that update command. Okay, like what we seen already. Now alter command is for changing the structure of the database. Structure changing means sometimes you want to add a new column, right? Sometimes you want to say drop some existing column from the table. So it can be drop, or it can be add column, drop column, or sometimes you want to change the column, so that you further write like alter column. Okay, so this alter command itself, you are going to alter a table. So So the alter is the next topic we are going to discuss. Let me write here, alter table. So inside alter table we have options like so what you can do is you can change the table structure by adding a new column. Okay, so what we can say is like a add column. Okay, so that is another add column name, data type, etc. So this is one option we are having. Another one is remove some existing column, so use it like a drop column. And the third one is add altering a table. What I am trying to do is I am altering the column inside. Okay, so write like this. So like that, three options are there. So add a column means just add a new column. Say in the employee table there were no job attribute. Now we are adding job attribute with the data type as worker tool, right? Now when you are adding it like that, you know, already some set of values will be available in the table. Now what it will do, it will add this job as a new attribute, and it don't know the value of this job for the existing tuples, okay, existing rows, and that time it can either assume that default value to be null. I mean it can, so by default it will try for the default value. So if some default value is specified for this particular job attribute, here it's not specified. If that is the case, it will fill that missing entries with that default value. Okay, you got it, right? So before this altering, I already have this table, say with some 10 rows, and everywhere now this one more column is added, right? That is a job attribute is added. What will be the value? You can assume the default value. If default is specified as a constraint for this job, here default is not there. If default is not there, then you can specify null as the missing values. Okay, suppose it is having that not null constraint, then it will be an error. That's all. Similarly, from you can alter the structure of a table by dropping some of the columns. Okay, so dropping column means here you are trying to drop the address column. Okay, so from employee table you are just removing address. Okay, you don't want it, say, for the time being. If that is the case, you can just write like drop column, name of the column, say address, and then again you can mention a cascade or restrict operation just before. So here cascade in the sense that so you are deleting a column, right? So this column may be referred by some other table using some foreign key there. Okay, and that time, so there is a reference towards this column. Suddenly when you are dropping it, what you will do with the reference? Okay, you can delete those references from other table also. That is a cascade option. Okay, or set null, those things also you can try, but by default mostly we will use this cascade. And restrict is another option where it will ask the user please go to all the referencing table and clear the issue, and then come back and do change the current column. Okay, something like that. I mean drop the current column, but whatever things you want. Okay, yeah, that about it. Now you can alter the table structure by altering some of the columns definitions that we already made. So here what we done is, already we have this column called manager SSN. Now we are altering it by dropping the default constraint. So we already seen manager SSN, we given a default manager ID, right? Some value is given, so he will be assumed as the manager if no other manager is specified explicitly. Okay, so that is the case with default. Now if we want like we don't need this default value, what you can do is you can simply drop that default constraint by saying like alter the column manager SSN. I mean actually you are trying to alter the table department, okay, inside the company schema. So alter table company dot department, in the sense from the company schema alter the table called department. How you are going to alter it? By altering the column called manager SSN by dropping the default value. I mean default is a constraint we have with the manager SSN, and that constraint we dropped. So that is how we alter that particular column. Okay, so here there is another example where we are altering a column manager SSN by setting the default value. So actually we were having one default values. I think it was like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now we dropped that default value and a new default value is being set. Okay, whatever it is, that structure you are changing, that's all. So you can change the structure by adding a new column, or by deleting some existing column, or by altering some columns. So like that this alter command is working. So that about the whole scenario. So what we seen is we can create a database structure using the create table, create schema, create domain, like that. Some new table, new schema, or new constraint, something like that you can create fresh using this particular command. So that about create. So that about the structure. Okay, now if you want to drop some already existing structure, you can use this drop command, and if you want to alter it, you can use this alter. So all these are dealing with the structure. Okay, so structure creation, structure dropping a structure, altering a structure, like that. Now once you have a structure, what you can do is you can think of inserting a new value into the structure. You can delete some of the existing value from the structure, or you can update some values from the structure. All those things are coming under inserting value, deleting value, updating values. Right, let me write like the values inside the structure. Okay, so we are dealing with, so here we are dealing with the values inside the structure. Okay, that's all. So this is what we discussed so far. Now there is another important concept here called so far it is data definition. Data definition involves structure creation, definition, as well as the populating it with the value. So all those things are coming under the DDL part. Okay, so data definition part. Now we will see the data manipulation part. Even though, so let me more clearly. So DDL, data definition, in the sense it's particularly the structure definition. This insert, delete, update, they are also coming under the manipulation part only. So as part of data manipulation, you are inserting new value. Okay, so this is also coming under data manipulation. Okay, now there is one more thing coming under data manipulation, that is something called a select query. This is something we will explore more detail in our subsequent video. Okay, so that about the whole scenario. Yes, thanks for watching.